Whew, there. It ain't much, but it's honest work. You know, I bet if Grandpa could see this right now, he'd say,
"What's up, players?"
My window!
Built at Brighton Works of July 1916.
Alright, Mr. Scrapyard Studios, if that is your real username, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
So, for those who don't know who I am, my name is Sam. I make Ertl videos, and I discuss Railway Series topics. Disclaimer to Christian parents, I'm gonna swear a lot, so sorry not sorry.
Dude, don't worry, I got you. I'll put up one of those big-ass walls of text that every Thomas creator puts up. You know, the ones that say that their bootlegged Thomas and Friends episodes can be enjoyed by kids and adults, even though that doesn't mean anything. It's like saying that a Happy Meal can be enjoyed by kids and adults. And I know my Happy Meals. Alright then, first question. What was the thing that made you want to start making YouTube videos? Like, what was that early inspiration for you?
My biggest desire for making videos, as with every other 6-year-old growing up with YouTube, was seeing the OGs, if you will. Ramaful, Moab. In fact, at a young age, the first name I'd use if I knew how to do YouTube back then would have been Red Rocket 150, which came into my tiny pea-brain head from watching Trent's Operation Easter Special. A big part of me is glad not to have done YouTube until I was old enough to, actually grasp how to make proper videos. But also, I kind of wish I could look back at my younger self in video format. In terms of entering the fandom, if you will, I joined Twitter in 2017, but nothing of note, really, that I did there, apart from Southern Thomas, which was basically just my brother's old G-scale Thomas, because the motor was fucked. So he gave it to me, and I said, fuck it, paint it in a Southern livery, like black, but with green lining as well. Not even my viewers remember that, I guarantee you. I got my start, I suppose, on Instagram. I used to post, photos I'd take when I go out about town. And when I say town, I mean just, isolated areas, like a woodland or something, or, a field. And, take a random selection of Ertl trains I had at that moment, and just take pictures of whatever Ertls I had, and just put them against some 00 track, and just post whatever photos I took that day. At that point, I made the channel as a throwaway sort of thing, and eventually had a crack at doing weekly remakes around the start of 2020, which were absolute shit, because I used to get audio or music for the thing I wanted, put on my laptop, and then play it directly into my speaker of my phone.
Oh, no.
So yeah, starting off, I was a bit of a fucking idiot. I started taking YouTube quote-unquote seriously with old Groner, with a proper set table in the back room next to the freezer. Then, for Percy and a Muddle, I fashioned the first backdrop out of wrapping paper you get in Amazon boxes and just painted that blue. Then after that, I got the backdrop, starting with old Stuck Up in 2021. The third and final backdrop was made by my dad's old school friend. So yeah, I couldn't have done it without them two. And the rest is history, as they say. Then, further down the line, fuck off. I found my place in the fandom. Stylistically, the biggest designation, my thing, the lack of music in remakes. The reasoning behind that, show music, great, don't get me wrong, of course, but it's been used to death. The surprise of a crash or something, for example, is just completely gone, because about a minute before, you just hear da-da-da, 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 like you know something's gonna happen. And it's just a very jarring viewing experience, for me personally. And also in real life, there is no music in situations of day-to-day life.
I never thought about it like that. That's actually really interesting. Typically with the music of Thomas, it's a really good indicator when, something bad is about to happen. You'll have the slight change in tone. Good example is in Percy Takes the Plunge. It's like a very, very slight change to his theme that tells you oh, something's not right here.
When I do use music, mainly in original stuff, I like to choose unique pieces that fit the mood, more so with top 5 tips and discussion videos in general. With who inspires me, Lemmy's at the top for many a reason, with the biggest being his ambition and modelling intellect. Look at his models. This is out of fucking cardboard and it looks beyond amazing. His storytelling. I mean, have you heard Long Live the Iron Horse? Lemmy's the best writer in the fandom, no doubt. His class were far from proving satisfactory.
So what was it like making your first video? What happened? Where'd the idea come from?
It's an interrogation more than a fucking Q&A.
Alright, Sam. We can either do this the easy way or the hard way. Now you're either gonna tell me how the final product differed from the original version, or I'm gonna have to get serious. Fuck.
The main struggle really was presentation, because I care a great fucking deal about it. I make my videos for me, so I'm gonna be professionistic. Not like anally.
Ha, anal.
Don't fucking say that, you weirdo. I'm extremely proud of what I've put out there, but it's by no means perfect. But then again, nothing is. And the thing is, you have to be critical with your own work, and you have to take criticism, because, you know, you can embrace that and improve. I can't really say much about production, as 3 years fucking flies. Time flies by when I'm the driver of a YouTube channel about living locomotives. The Warsaw Invention, Northwest Territory.
What's a video that, like, you consider the baseline for all your content? Like, you made it, and then, like, that video onwards is like, this is when I really started to hit my stride.
As said earlier, Old Groner was the first quote-unquote proper video for the channel. I did commentary videos for some of my earlier remakes, like a year after I first made them, but it's just me rambling off the cuff, and also very clunkily put together at times. I had to film the first minute of clips in that twice, because in 17-year-old Sam's words, iCloud decided to be a bastard and fuck over my footage. Like, if you record a video, it will offload after around a week at most if you don't touch it for a while. So once you start a video, you gotta go at it. Filmmaking, sound mixing, the lot, until it's up to snuff. Old Groner was first filmed in September of 2019, and it was finished in November 2020.
Fuck.
In terms of hitting my stride in making videos, 2021 was the game changer, mainly for the sky backdrop, but the year before, I found out that I could screen record music and export it into the app I use to edit. And then the more content I made, the more I got to grips with things by adding my own twists to remakes or developing profession with my scripts, both in writing and recording. Like, listen to the Yertle Station House accessory set review. This set was originally released in 1999 and it clearly sold well since it was reused 4 times. And then compare that to Stanley or Smudger. Although the story ends the same, number 2 on the TV screen is a real visual contrast to the number 2 on paper. The difference is as clear as day. And then come Facts on Thomas merchandise, I found my style, tweaked it moving forward, and that led me to do bigger and better things, with Lives of the Illustrators being the first quote-unquote big video for me at the time. The Surprise Packet review, Old Neil, and the Edwardian are videos that I got a feeling of, oh, I love this, and they're still to this day some of my favourite videos to make. The baseline for content, or content that I'm proudest of, is either top 5 tips or the shorter format or content. Show don't tell videos are the most fun, as it tells a story through the visuals, and the audience clicks with it. I'm not up my own arse, I swear.
No, I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good story, but there's definitely like an art to making something that gets a message across without saying anything or saying very little. It can be hard to do if you try to be too artsy, because you'll have some viewers who watch it and just go, what the fuck? And then you'll have these guys from Twitter who come on and they're like, oh, you don't understand how the color grading tells the story of how Sir Topham Hatt shit himself while parking his car.
So the board wrote him off as lost entirely.
When you're making a video and you get an idea in your head, what's typically the creative process?
My ADHD is definitely what gets videos started. That plus I just love everything about making videos, from making models, writing, editing, and watching them on my own from time to time. And this ties into creative process. If there's a thing I need to make, I'm fucking dead set on that thing till it's finished. Which is the same approach for every video, and it only differs when I try new things with specific elements. Like more recently, I'm having a crack at more humour by keeping bloopers in. The best part about voicing troublesome trucks is that they can sound as stupid as or venturing beyond videos, SoundCloud being the main quote-unquote side hustle, as the kids say. When it comes to ideas, it's a funny one, because I've got nearly 300 video ideas noted on my phone, which is mainly just built up as years go by. When actually deciding to what videos to do, or like what topics to cover, it mostly depends on how much I give a shit about a particular topic in that moment, and whether or not I have an idea as to what angle I want to take it. Like with the Morris Appreciation, it took me pretty much one whole night to write the script for that. Once the script and then voiceover is done, that's when the ball starts to roll visually. 10 years he proved the vital cog to Sodor.
So during the process of like making a video, what would you say is the thing you most look forward to?
Well, the best thing about making videos, and this is a fucking corny as shit answer, but it's the journey. Having a vision, planning it out, and then seeing that vision come to life, or even adding on to it as you're filming. And when it does click with you, and when you are satisfied with it, seeing everything come together.
Following up from that last question, what would you say is the part of the process that you just can't fucking stand?
Having to watch a video back over and over and over, making sure the visuals and audio are all in sync.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. Watching a video again and again and again until you can recite the entire thing by heart. When you're a perfectionist and you're like looking for these little details, you can spend hours just going over your stuff.
Again, you have to be perfectionistic, and I make my videos for me. So if I, as the person making them, doesn't like what I put out, or if I'm covering a topic just for the attention, then there's no real point in making videos. Like Halloween last year, when I made Facts on Five Nights at Freddy's, I only did that because it was Halloween. People liked it, and then like, wanted more FNAF videos. You know, I'm not complaining or anything, but like, I don't have as much talking points with FNAF. So it's a bit hard to come up with like, things to discuss. Bit of a tangent, but fuck it, that's the point of an interview, innit? Lip smack is probably the biggest demotivator because I can't control it most of the time, and I get very pissed off when it happens. With the Henry video and top 5 tips for scratch building, I took a slower approach to the voiceover for that reason, and like for every line, I'd take breaks. Rather than reading it all like this and then, you know, hoping that it all goes together. You get what I mean. And also one big demotivator is noticing fuck-ups in a video after it's been up for a while. But as annoying as it is, you need to acknowledge your fuck-ups, whether you like it or not, because that's how you improve with your content.
Yeah, I mean, except for me, because I never make mistakes in my videos. Still can't use this music because it's copyright.
Station Pilot was an absolute sport.
So, as one of the only YouTubers that I've seen that does a fairly decent mixture of the story-related videos and the essay-style stuff, which would you say you enjoy the most?
Depends really. With virtual videos, they take a lot more effort because I have to make specific customs, buildings or track plans for a specific story of a video. And the longest that took was with Don't Cross Duck, taking 2 weeks. Oh dear. But it's also easier because I can just get straight on with filming if it's a show don't tell style of video mainly. And with Mike's stories, the narration's already there and then working with that as I'm going along with the video. Analytical/essay videos can take just as long, depending on how invested I am in writing a particular script in that moment. Some top 5 tips episodes, I take breaks so as to, like, actually think of what advice to give.
Ha! Taking breaks. As if there is such a thing.
After he helped an engine with brakes nearly scorched.
So I'm curious, which video in your lineup do you consider to be like your magnum opus, so to speak? Like if a new viewer just randomly clicked onto your channel, what's the one video that you'd want them to watch?
What Happened to Scruffy, without a shadow of a doubt. It just hits all the right notes. From the humour, the characters, the dialogue. It's definitely my favourite video to work on. And Lemmy even saw it as well.
Mission complete!
It works because it's like realistic. Also, I strive better with dialogue, storytelling. You're fucking unhinged, Pete. You know that. Mentally or morally, Will. It's what I've always loved about you, man. You're not a care for anything. Ah, well, I'm 76 years old, practically rotted from my frames, and smacked around by many a flagon throughout my life. Needless to say, it's shite boring. Because that's real life. It's dialogue back and forth, like conversation. And with the humour, it's very UK. And like UK style of humour is very cruel, for lack of a better word. We'd happily take the piss out of someone if they're a fucking idiot.
Can we just ask you how happy you're feeling right now?
I'm bloody miserable, actually.
Instead of be careful about, like, you know, hurting the feelings. Because most British people don't really care. They're just going to say it how it is.
Yeah, fuck feelings.
Suck your mum! He finally got given a chance at something more.
Alright, Sam. People want to know, why Erdl?
It just worked out that way for me in Ertl, I suppose. And it's funny, because I had fuck all Ertls when I was a kid. They were mainly nicked from school or just found somewhere and like really, really beaten up. In fact, my channel icon is a relic of that time, if you will. Because I had a Thomas,
Yo, what's up?
an Edward,
I fucking had it!
2 Gordons, my Duck,
What, like a real one?
Duck, which I painted black when I first got into making customs, a D199,
I'm slipping.
and a Scruffy.
Listen, Peter!
I grew up with Tommy as the main brand. When my cousin, like he was 2 at the time, and he was just getting into Thomas, and we kindly gave him most of our Tommy collection for him to play with. But as an ironic twist of fate, I kept my Tommy Oliver.
Ooh, that's the rare one.
And it's an ironic twist of fate because of how price gouged to fuck Oliver is on eBay.
What, one newborn child? You're telling me you can't afford that?
Back to Ertl, I started like collecting it because I used to go to my nan's house every Tuesday when I was in school to use the laptop there because I didn't have a computer or anything at this point. I had my pocket money on me and was browsing eBay and decided, you know, to search for an Ertl 16. Asked Nan if I could buy it. She said yes, and then we bought it. And then it arrived. You know the feeling you get when you get something and you get that feeling of I never thought I'd get this.
Yeah, I mean, this one time I got swimmer's itch and it...
As for upcoming creators, it's your call really what brand you want to fucking use. If you're aiming for quote-unquote serious content, use Hornby. If you're willing to, of course. Fucking tight bastards, those eBay sellers.
Alright, let's have a look here. What the are you kidding me?
If you want to do kids videos, use Wooden Railway. And when you're confident enough, have a dabble at scratch building your own models. For working with Ertl, it's very difficult sometimes because it's metal, because cutting with a Dremel, with metal more than plastic, is fucking intimidating. The one time I did use a Dremel was with my GSWR James. I was about 3/4 way doing it and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not doing this.
What's life without a little risk?
Those who we did like fought him.
With Ertl specifically, what happens when you want to use a character that they didn't officially make?
The first thing I do is draw up what the fuck I'm doing. This is for track plans as well. I have a notepad specifically for customs. Sometimes I've even drawn up plans that are nowhere near impossible to make. Midsode or Stanley being the key one, because he has no proper running board, so I can't really screw him together. You know, if you're gonna make a model or anything, make stuff removable so it's easier to repaint. And going back to what I said earlier about bringing the vision to life, when you start applying the paint, is the best fucking thing. And then, you know, when you finish it, the feeling of relief and pride is unmatchable.
Yep, there's nothing better than bootlegging your Thomas merch.
The big blue Gordon gave him the most brunt.
Has there been a time where you've been working on a project and it's just not coming out the way you want and you just decide to, pardon the pun, scrap it?
One noteworthy project that got binned was an Ertl adaptation of Cross Lines, which I replaced with old Stuck Up. You know, I was about 3/4 way doing it, but what ultimately killed it was the climax, because if you watch my videos, you'll know that I use Ertl track, which, as much as I love Ertl, the track is absolute dog piss, because it's just wide as shit. And like, with the well wagon, I couldn't do the thing, so I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I still have the footage, and the shot in old Stuck Up, with Bowler coming past James, that was from Cross Lines. Again, I still have most of the footage of it, but I don't really want to go back to it, because again, Ertl track is wank. By the time of the Second World War's close.
Alright, now time for the really hard-hitting questions. Can you provide your credit card information with the expiry dated 3 numbers on the back?
Oh, but of course. 0527. A kindly father and son grew intrigued the most.
What's a project you'd like to do, but you're not quite sure how to make it happen?
This is a fun one. You know the song Wake Me Up by Avicii?
No. Can you please sing it for me, Genius Interview style?
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. I, for about 2 years or so, have wanted to use that for a music video framed around Oliver's BR life and the build-up to his sprint to Sodor, because the lyrics relate to Oliver's emotions in those moments. The darkness in this scenario being dieselization, and obviously Oliver's life and his friends around him being on the line. Isabel and Toad, of course, being the beating heart guiding Oliver through the adversity despite the uncertainty, and him knowing where to start is, of course, his escape. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. Well, that's fine by me. This refers to Oliver's classmates, understandably, shooting down his idea, and some even getting pissed off with his propaganda, at least the way they see it.
The other engines are like, dude, you are going to die. Well, either I die here or I die on the way. What's the fucking difference? And then in the middle of the night, his driver fucking files off Oliver's serial numbers like he's smuggling a firearm.
Just go in and act casual like you buy them all the time.
And also Oliver knowing full well he's going to fucking die any given moment, have a second chance at life rather than accept his fate. And hearing about the Northwestern, Oliver would want to get there sooner rather than later.
Maybe that's why they dragged him to the scrapyard. It wasn't because he was escaping, he was speeding. Oi, you know how fast you were going there, officer? Officer, I could explain. You could explain in hell.
My vision for this was so high, I doubted being able to make it at all. The Little Westerner by Scotsman Returns is very relatable and inspirational to me, and it definitely had an influence on my approach to this thing. I seriously wanted to have a decent amount of sunlight in this, and I could not do that with my Ertls if I tried. To properly convey my vision for this, I'd use trains, but I don't have anything super high-tech to get smooth enough footage, let alone trains at all. I could ask an experienced trains user to film and edit it for me, but then it wouldn't be my video, if you catch my drift.
Or, hear me out, Trains, 2008, Bandicam, made with Filmora.
Cheeky Thomas.
Are there any other series besides Thomas that you'd want to make videos, but you don't feel like you can for some reason? Like, I mean, I know that YouTube is like, oh, you gotta stay within your niche, but like, if you could make a video about another series, what would it be?
I wanted to make, like, videos revolving around talking points within the UK YouTube circles. But if I did do, like, a more mainstream video, there's the possibility of getting, like, shitloads of attention from that. You know, I'd hate to have 1 million subscribers. It's, like, too much attention, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable. You don't want to have too big of an audience. Like, comment, and subscribe. It can be a little intimidating to perform in front of that many people. Be sure to hit that bell. And I think it's a lot more fun to just not worry about the numbers game when it comes to making videos that you want to make. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, SoundCloud, Xvideos, Grindr. And also, this video is sponsored by Khaki and Raid Shadow Legends.
God, stop with the self-promotion for fuck's sake.
Here's an idea. How about you stop breaking through my fucking windows, you dick? Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and don't worry, I didn't actually call Sam a dick. He's not we're good, we're cool. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who helped make this video possible, all of the people who I drew assets from. Really appreciate it. All of their links are in the description for you to go check out. And on another note, I would like to thank a few people who actually donated to me during one of my live streams a little while ago. I didn't really get the chance to say thank you to them properly, so I want to do that now. Thank you very much, David D. Billington, Damus Z, The Miller Station, and The Potato with a Hat for donating. I don't really run a Patreon or anything, and I don't feel comfortable asking people for money, so I really appreciate you guys donating to me. It really does mean a lot to me in a way that I can't describe in words. If you want to keep hearing my voice, might I suggest this video on thumbnails that I did a little while ago. It was really fun, and I got to collaborate with a bunch of YouTubers. Anyways, that's all from me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.